Good morning, friends. Today we will cover Chapter 9, Serialization with Enum constants. So, as per Java specifications, enum constants are serialized differently than ordinary serializable objects. So, when we serialize an enum constant, object output stream write object method, it will only write the value which is returned by the enum constant's name method. This name method is an instead method which is defined in java.lang.enum, which returns the name of the instance. So we'll try to understand this more when we actually write some unit test case. But here, let's understand the theoretical part that when we write the value, it will only write the enum constant's name method. Similarly, when we deserialize it, when we deserialize an enum constant, then using ObjectInputStream read object method, then it will deserialize constant, which is called by using valueOf method. This valueOf method. This valueOf is a static method, again defined in java.lang.enum, taking a string and returning the enum instance with that name. It means that we are going to pass as you can treat it as a method where we are passing a string of the name of the instance, and then it will return back the actual enum constant. This is the difference. This is a special case of enum constant that while we are writing it, it returns the name method of it, and while reading it back, it takes the value of and get back the original enum constant. Similarly, there is another values a static method which is very useful, which will return all the enum instances, and it can be used to loop through it for all the values which have been defined. And there are a few other points to make about enum is that the enum types have a fixed serial version UID of 0L and cannot be changed. For example, if we are trying to use a serial .exe in the JDK bin, or we are trying to generate it using whatever IntelliJ ID or what, it cannot be changed. It's always fixed of 0L. And similarly, there are a lot of customization possible for the whole serialization process using write object method, read object method, read object node data, etc., write to place and resolve. These are the methods which are defined, which can be used to customize our serialization process, but that is not possible to do it for the enum constants. So, which means that it cannot be customized. So enough of this theory now. Let's start writing the code to understand enum first. So I have my IntelliJ open, and let's start writing some test cases to first of all understand the name and values of method of enum, and then we will write some Java Pojo classes with enum constants as a private field members and see that what is the implication there. So let's create a package first. So Alt insert. I'll create a package. Chapter 9. Serialization with enum. We copy this and create a similar package in test. Package, Control V. Okay, so we have got these two packages here. Let's create an enum class here first. So Alt insert Java class, and I will create say trade status, and it's an enum. Enter. Okay, so I created an enum. So first of all, let me create some enum constants here. So I will create first as, and I will mark it as live. And similarly, I will create some other. Okay. So I've created some constants here, enum constants. Let's press Alt Enter and create a constructor here. And I will just use string, something as description. And I will create a private string description here like this. And this dot description is equal to this. Okay. Control Alt L. Okay, so we have defined these four enum constants with, and there's a parameter here as description. And similarly, I will write a getter method here, something as say public string okay. Also, let me define a toString method also. So here it is. So we have got the status enum class, which have got four constants here with a parameter private field member is description. Now let's create the test class to understand those name, values, and values of method, so that we can understand that what are these methods and how it is used in serialization process. So let me include this. I will create Java class test. So let's create the first test method. So alt insert again test method, and I will test enum name method, the name method which we use for serialization of enum constants, and values method. Okay, and I always prefer to create a display name, a better name, where I can describe in a free string format. So I'll test java.lang.enum name and values method. Okay, now so as I mentioned that the status.values, right, that can be used for iteration. So I will create for loop for each, and I will use final trade status. Okay, trade status, and it's about trade status dot values. So this values will give me all the enum constants that we have defined here. Okay, so once we do this, what I'm going to do is s out f. First of all, we need to see that what's the value of name method. So I will %s and %n. %n is for new line, and I will call trade status dot name method. It's not calling toString. There's a difference between name method and toString. Okay, so this is the first line will print us trade status dot name, and similarly control D, I will take toString % and just pass this, because if we are just passing this variable name, it will implicitly call toString method. So let's run this and see what's the output. So I'm just running it now. Okay, now here see that the name method, when it's called, it is just giving me the constant name live. It is not calling the toString method or whatever description that we have defined here. Let's go back here. What I want to say is that the name method, it always calls me the exact uppercase live method, the live name of this enum constant. It is not passing anything which is there in the description, or it is not calling the toString method to give me this whatever overwritten toString that I have written. The toString and the second line, this will actually call this toString method and give this. So here, this is the very important difference, that whenever we call the name method, it will only take the actual instance enum constant's name, which is the uppercase format. So say name closed, name unknown, for example. So it means that whenever we serialize an enum constant using the ObjectOutputStream write object method, it will call this name, and only this form would be stored in the serialized form, not any other format, not any like this with these variables like description and all. This will not be stored. Only this name would be stored in the serialized form. Now let's test value of method, which is used for deserialization. So again, I will do alt insert. Maybe I will just copy this first. Okay, better to do that. Alt insert test method and test enum value of method. Okay, again, let me just copy this first. Okay, and test. Okay, value of method, right? Value of. This value of is used for deserialization. So again, let me do some assertion directly here. Okay, so I will use assert equals, and this is what I expect that. Okay, let me write the test case first, so it will be clear. So, and then I will call this test status dot value of, and then I will pass this string. Okay, alt insert. Okay, so I've added this static. Okay, so what it value of is that, because we are using this name, and name will actually just store this live, this in uppercase, and that's why when we deserialize it, the value of will just use this live again from the stream of bytes that we have serialized. It will just take it back, and then it will convert it back into the actual state status dot live enum constant. That's why we are using value of here. So just to explain it more, I will write a different type of assertion here, that it should be, if it's like say closed, okay, and value of, instead of directly passing the uppercase, let me create something like this, closed, okay, and I will mark it to uppercase. We have this separate line, close dot to uppercase, and I will pass the locale of English. Okay, so what we are doing is that, similar to like live, because this should be exactly matching with the name, with the name method which was returned. So it should be exactly uppercase live. Only then, when we pass this as a string parameter to value of, only then we will get back the actual enum constant. So similarly, I did it by using the small case and then modifying it to uppercase in local English, and then it will return me this. Now let's run this test case. We accept that both the assertions would pass. Okay, so I just run this, and yeah, it has passed now. So it means that now it's clear that what's the name method does and what does the value of method does. So guys, this was all about about the name and value of method for enum constants. In the next video, we will use the enum constants as private member fields of Java project class and write some test cases to understand how it is done for serialization and deserialization. So see you all in the next video.